Good morning, Rock Hill. It is good to see you Monday morning here, August 14th or September 14th. Man, so glad to have everybody back in church with us. 2 services going. It was exciting. Lots and lots of new people, and exciting to be back in the book of Romans. So I'm going to just read the passage and then give you a couple comments on it as we recap what we learned yesterday. We're back in Romans 8, one of my favorite chapters in all the Bible. In it is so many just incredible promises, and it says this: "There is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. For the law of the Spirit of life has set you free in Christ Jesus from the law of sin and death. For God has done what the law, weakened by the flesh, could not do. By sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh and for sin, he condemned sin in the flesh, in order that the righteous requirement of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not according to the flesh, but according to the Spirit." And so the big idea for us is if we are in Christ, then there is no condemnation whatsoever for us anymore. It doesn't mean that there's no conviction for sin, but it means there's no condemnation for it because 2 reasons. 1, the Spirit of God has set us free from the power of sin and death, and so we have a new heart with new desires, and the power to actually live out those desires is one of the evidence that we are no longer condemned. The second, which is more objective for us, is that there's no condemnation for us because there was condemnation for Jesus Christ. He did what we could not do because the law was weakened by our own sinful flesh. He saved us, and God did this at great cost to himself. It cost him his Son. The reason why God did this is because he loves us. He loves us. And he desires that we would live a new kind of life, a life in the Spirit. I want to invite you back next week as we look at verses 5 to 11 to see what this life in the Spirit actually looks like, what it's actually like. But for now, I want you to be encouraged in the good news that there is no condemnation if you are in Jesus Christ. And I close with this question: what would our church look like as a community of people in a city? What would it look like if we all believed this? If we all actually lived and acted as if there was no condemnation whatsoever anymore before God? I just want to close with that thought, and maybe in your city groups this week, you can ponder that, you can think about that. What would it look like if we all lived this out, that there was no condemnation, we lived like it was true? Love you guys. Can't wait to see you again this week.